All right. After a 3-day Israeli offensive that killed 46 Palestinians and injured over 350 Palestinians, American media failed to portray the reality of the situation. Reporting from The Intercept, media coverage in the US was mainly led by photographs of smoke-filled skies or Gazans walking amid piles of rubble. Selecting these images rather than graphic ones effectively portrayed a reality for American audiences far removed from what had truly unfolded on the ground. And it's not like the photos did not exist. Many photojournalists had already uploaded their work for news outlets to take up. Again, from The Intercept, as the Palestinian death toll climbed over the weekend, images from photojournalists based in Gaza poured into massive databases like Getty Images and AP Images. A quick search for Gaza on Getty Images, for example, returns hundreds of recent photographs. These graphic images are arrayed on photo databases next to the non-graphic images that are almost always the ones selected for publication by US news organizations. Rockets flying through the sky at night, quiet moments of children surveying the damage done to their homes, and black smoke rising over the horizon. These images are not the defining feature of the unequal conflict in which no Israelis were killed. Instead, they're not published really at all. In the case of one of the 16 children that were killed, 5-year-old Kaya Kadam, one report in the New York Times included a photograph made after her death. This was the exception. Though the photo was not featured prominently, it was placed near the end of the article. So when they are reporting on this and actually showing the graphic images, they're not front page, they're not on headline news during primetime TV. And let's keep in mind that during the Russian invasion of Ukraine, it's not that they don't want to show graphic images. They've shown graphic images about international conflicts before, it's that they're intentionally choosing not to. Other outlets from the Washington Post to NBC News did not publish this image like the New York Times did, even as they mentioned the girl's killing. So really shocking that they're giving this story. Is it shocking? No, this is pretty much par for the course for the kind of coverage we get about the occupation of Palestine. But really glaring that they can search through all of these images and hand select the non-graphic ones to just tell their narrative about what's going on there more effectively and keep people in the United States not as informed as they should be, considering how much money the United States is giving in defense funds to Israeli forces.
I mean, I think that this is a perfect piece of evidence showing us that our media intentionally withhold important information about this conflict. They intentionally, it's like the visual version of a euphemism, right? It's preventing Americans from really understanding the danger caused by the IDF, the pain and suffering of the Palestinian people. And to know that those images exist and they're intentionally withholding them, I think just says a lot about their editorial judgment. The other thing I'll say is this reminds me of a conversation I had just a few days ago about the number of mass shootings that occur in this country, particularly in schools, and how little children suffer the consequences of our inability to do a damn thing about gun control. And a friend of mine was like, they should be showing the pictures of what the scene looks like. And I imagine that would be unbearable and difficult for the parents and the family members who lost their children. But I don't really think Americans fully grasp what that scene is like. For the kids who do survive, what it's like for them to see that, to see their peers gunned down like that, to see their bodies mutilated like that because of the bullets and the high capacity magazines used in these assault weapons. Like, I think that there's a truth there that's being whitewashed in a lot of ways. And I'm interested to see a debate about this issue, right? Because I'm sure that there are legitimate concerns about how it could further victimize families, but at the same time, I do think that there could be a valuable component to this as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people who are, family members of victims of mass shootings who probably agree with you, who don't want to see this happen to other kids, and it can be a case-by-case basis, right? are you okay with us showing these photos and getting the family's blessing? I do think, yeah, it's necessary. I was talking to Ben Glebe, who's a contributor on TYT, about how we might already be in a civil war in this country because people are attacking us like crazy. And of course, we're not gonna fight back because usually the gunman gets taken into custody, and fighting violence with more violence. We don't want to escalate this into a civil war where there's mass fighting, but there is an offensive in this country. And when you have people like Andy Biggs, who is a sitting member of Congress in Arizona, saying that his constituents need assault rifles to defend themselves against the invasion across the southern border, which is exactly what the El Paso shooter said in his manifesto. Now you have people who are in government also agreeing with this. And so I think painting the picture of what's actually going on and showing photos of victims, whenever there's a case where atrocious acts are taken against human beings, yeah, maybe it is necessary to show graphic footage.
Right. I just think there's a truth there that's being withheld from Americans. And I think that they need to be confronted with that truth.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.